Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Hook Nook. My name is Bobby. We're doing a rose from Katie's Crafts. The link is below. This pattern calls for a thinner yarn and a 1.25 millimeter hook. I'm using a worsted weight yarn and a 3.5 millimeter hook. So my rose will be slightly larger than what the pattern says it will be. The other things I need for this pattern is a pair of scissors, a needle, and a stitch marker if you're going to use it. I don't believe I'm going to use it, but we'll see what ends up happening. All right, there's two notes on this pattern. It says you can leave a long tail of the yarn at the start or finish of the rose to stitch the strips of petals together. And the other is this example of the rose includes 39 petals. There are alterations listed if you want a smaller or larger rose. So I'm going to go off of this example. And row 1 says start by making 118 chains. So I take my 3.5 millimeter hook, have my yarn. I'm going to make a slip stitch. So I'm going to bring my working yarn over my yarn tail, and I'm just going to bring it through. And you can do that with your finger. You can do it with your hook. You're basically creating a stitch that will slip. It's a slip knot. So when I pull on this, it gets tight. When I pull on this one, it gets looser. That's a slip knot. And the way to create that, you're going to wrap your working yarn over your yarn tail, and you're going to bring your working yarn through that hole, that knot that you've created, and that makes your slip knot. I'm going to go ahead and pull that tight on my hook, like so, and I'm going to hold on to my knot, and I'm going to chain 118. So a chain stitch is you're going to start with your loop on your hook, and you want it on the shaft of your hook, and this is your working yarn, so that goes back to your skein, and you're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through, and you're going to do that same movement, yarn over, pull through. That's 2 stitches, 3 stitches, 4 stitches, 5 stitches, 6 stitches, 7 stitches, 8 stitches, 9 stitches. We're just going to keep on doing that till we hit 118. 15, 116, 117, 118. So that's my 118 chain stitches. It says from the 4th chain from the hook, you're going to work 1 double crochet. So this is my loop that's on my hook. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the stitch I'm going to be working into. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to yarn over for a double crochet. And after I yarn over, I'm going to go in the 4th chain from the hook, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So that's 1 double crochet. It says after that, you're going to chain 1, skip 2 chains from the chain row, and work 1 double crochet, 2 chains, 1 double crochet in the next stitch. So I'm going to, I already chained 1, 2, So in the third stitch, I'm going to do a double crochet. I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then I'm going to work a double crochet in that same stitch that I worked the last double crochet. So then when you look at it, it'll end up looking like a V. See how that works? Let's move these noisy things out of the way here. So, and you're going to repeat that so that the whole row looks like a row of these V's. So you're going to skip 2, do a double crochet, 2 chains, and a double crochet. So that's 1, 2, and I'm going to do a double crochet, chain 2, and do a double crochet. You can see how that starts to look like a row of V's. We're just going to keep that up all the way across the row to the very end. So double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to yarn over, count out to the third stitch. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. That's my double crochet. Chain 1, chain 2, and then again I'm yarn over. I'm going to go back in that same hole, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. And that is my double crochet. And I'm just going to continue that all the way across the row. All right, we're coming towards the end of this. And so at the end, you can see that I have just, and you can see how it's already starting to turn because I've done more stitches in the second row than the first row is why it's curling like that. But you can see it just ends up being a row of V-shaped edges. See that? All right, so next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna turn your work. So I'm gonna turn it this way. This way. So I'm gonna turn it this way, like this. And row 2, it says chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And that counts as your first double crochet. So that does two things. It gives you your first double crochet, but it also brings your stitches up to the top of the stitches of the row you're working in. You're going to one double crochet, two chain, two double crochet in the first two chain space. So in this space here where the two chains are, you're going to do a double crochet, and I'm just going to go, I'm not going to try and squeeze in there. I'm just going to go right around the whole chain two space. So one double crochet, chain two, two double crochets, one, two, and that's what that's going to look like. And you can see where I worked right around that space. Instead of trying to work in that stitch, I just went right around it and created my stitches right around that chain two space. So from there out, we are going to do two chains, two DC, two chains, two DC in each two chain space all the way to the end. So you're going to yarn over. And this is where the two come together. That's your V. So this is my chain two space. And I'm going to go DC. So double crochet, double crochet. No, I screwed that up. You're going to chain two. One, two. Then you're going to do a double crochet, double crochet, chain two, double crochet, double crochet, all in that next stitch. So then it ends up looking like that. And you're going to continue to do that all the way across. So chain two, and this is my next chain two space. So I'm going to do a double crochet, double crochet, chain two, double crochet, double crochet. And you're just going to continue that for the whole row. So chain two, one, two, double crochet, double crochet, chain two, double crochet, double crochet, chain two. Now I'm on my next one, double crochet, double crochet, chain two, double crochet, double crochet. Okay, we're coming up to the end of row two. And at the end of row two, you should have 39 chain two spaces on top of your V's. So 39 of these, and you should have chain two spaces between your V shapes. So that way you'll be able to create 39 petals if you're following the example on the pattern. Mm. One, two, 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 two. You should have 39 chain two spaces inside your double V's here. see that. And pull this so it doesn't come out. If you lay it flat, it'll kind of ruffle up. If you lay it out like this so you can see it. That's what it's going to look like. Now this particular one, you're going to do on row 3, you're going to do just double crochets, no more chain spaces, just double crochets. And you're going to work them in these chain spaces. So the first one, you're going to make 10 double crochets in the first chain 2 space. You're going to make 10 of them in here. So you're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's your double crochet. That's 1. You're going to do that 10 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm kind of pulling on it so that my chain 2 space is still showing to me. And that was 7. This will be 8, 9, and 10. So that is the first petal on the rose. You can see there's 10 stitches in here. If you'd like, we'll yank this out and kind of show you. Each one of these lines is a stitch, and there should be 10 of those inside that first chain space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So then the next step is you're going to, not in your next V, but in the chain space, the chain 2 space between, you're going to do a single crochet, and that's going to hold that petal right there in place. See how that locks it into place? Just like that. Now, you're going to do 10 petals of 10 double crochet. So you're going to do that 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm going to single crochet in the next chain 2 space. So that's 2 petals. We're going to do that 10 times. Okay, so that's 10 petals with 10 double crochets in them. Now, the next one is 8 double crochets, and you're going to do 8 petals with 8 double crochets in them. So I'm going to It's the same thing. You got your single crochet attaching it to the stitch. And for those of you that aren't sure how to do a single crochet, I'm going to pull this out and show you. So instead of yarning over and pulling through, you're only going to push your hook in where you need it, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through too. That's a single crochet, and that's how you're locking those petals or shells down to your main piece here. And then you're going to do 8 double crochets, the same thing. You're going to just keep working double crochets. You're going to put 8 of them in this petal, and you're going to do 8 petals like that. 3, 4, 5. And as you're working, you see how it starts getting tight. If you pull on this a little bit, you can slide those stitches over and get more room in your piece there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you're going to do that single crochet to lock it down. And then you're going to do 8 in the next one. You're going to continue this for 8 petals. So this is number 2, and you'll have 8 petals of 8 double crochets. Right, that gives me 8 petals of 8 double crochets. So that's 10 and 8. That's 18 petals so far. Next is up 7 petals of 7 double crochet. So same thing, but we're going to put only 7 double crochets in the next 7 petals. So 7 double crochets and a stitch. And you can see how they're starting to get smaller. This was 10. This was 8. This is 7. And as you get smaller with less stitches, it's a smaller petal. So I'm just going to keep going until I have 7 petals of 7 double crochets. Okay, this is petal number 7 with 7 DCs in it. So the next one would be, this one says 9 petals of 6 double crochets. So we're going to put 6 double crochets in there, and we're going to do 9 of these. 6. Two. This is number 9. So this is the 9th petal with 6 double crochets. Five, 6. The next one is 3 petals with 5 double crochets in it. So we're going to do 5 double crochets in the next 3 petals. 3, 4, 5. It's very repetitive. And at the end of each petal, you're going to tack it down with a single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 2, and then this is the third one. 3, 4, 5. Right? 1, 2, 3 of 5 DC, and then it calls for 2 petals at 2 DC. So we're gonna 4 DC. Sorry, 2 petals of 4 DC. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Tack that one down, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and tack that one down. Okay, so the next part of this says, in the previous row, the slip stitch, leave the tail long enough to weave in and fasten off. So we're going to cut a long enough tail that we can stitch up our rows. And this is what our piece looks like at this point. Bring you up some so you can kind of see a little better. There we go. Now all that's left is to roll your rows and sew it up. And you can roll it either way. But your big petal, your little petals go all the way to the inside. So these are your small 4 double crochets. And these are your big 10 double crochets. And these are going to be the outside of your rows. Got a little blurry. So the big one is going to be the outside of your rows, and the little one is going to be the inside of your rows. And you can roll it one of 2 ways. I'm going to put my string out of the way here. And I'm going to just start rolling it up. Now, if you roll it one way, your petals are going to be open like this. And if you roll it the other way, your petals will be closed like this. See how they're kind of wrapping around themselves here? So I like the open look, so I'm going to roll it this way. I'm just kind of keeping it where that original chain is kind of lined up. You can see how it's becoming an open rose like this. Hello. There we go. And I'm just going to keep rolling. And you can pull it tighter if you want. If you pull it tighter, it'll give it a different look. I'm trying to make sure that my petals are not all lined up because you want them to be kind of staggered as you go around. And remember, nature is organic. This does not have to be perfect because nothing is perfect in nature. That sounds like a thunderstorm is rolling in. Hopefully I can finish this before it gets too loud. And that's what it's going to look like. And then I'm going to flip it over. And I use that tail that I have. And I'm going to stitch it all together. Pull that on through. And I'm trying to make sure that I pick up stitches from each row as I go down through so that it holds those rows into place. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. And that's going to hold my rows together. And I'm just going to do that several times until I know it's good and secure. You can see my petals are still mobile. I can move them around a little bit, but they're being held in place in the center here. So you can tie it. In a good knot and hide those extra threads into the rose and snip them off. Do the same thing with this thread. Hide it in the rose. Sorry, didn't mean to be that loud. And snip it off. And that is finished rose. And you can twist it and turn it still and kind of move those petals around, get them exactly where you want them. And there you go.